I gave people all the stuff they really needed. Social security checks, utility bills, TV guide.
I want a TV guidance counselor. TV guidance counselor. Staying up to watch all night, and everything's gonna be alright with my TV guidance counselor.
Hello everybody, welcome to TV Guidance Counselor. This is Ken Reed, your TV Guidance Counselor. As always, this is a show where each and every week welcome a guest to the show with a back issue of TV Guide magazine, usually from my personal collection as the inspiration for our conversation. This week a little different. We got if I had like a sound effect or some kind of bell for BYOTVG, my guest has brought his own TV guide and I used my copy. So the scan, if you're how's this for a plug? I'm so professional. If you are a $5 or more a month patron, the scanned PDF that you received is my copy. It's a little different. He's Cleveland based. I'm Boston based. So this is the Boston edition that y'all get. He was looking at the Cleveland edition. It's not confusing. It's very easy. I just explained it very simply. But anyway, this is a fun chat. We talked a lot about Michael Jackson, so hopefully you enjoy that. But my guest is Zachariah Durr. Zachariah is a Cleveland-based comedy writer, performer. Used to host a horror show on a local network affiliate. He was recording from that very TV station, and this was a fun chat. So he was introduced to me by the guys from the First 7-Inch podcast, who were also very fun. They're all in that. I know it's not the Midwest, but that area, like west of me, west of me and east of LA. That's how I decide where people are. Speaking of which, if you don't listen to the First 7-Inch Club, that's a great podcast, by the way. Even if you're like, I don't know anything about hardcore or punk, they mostly talk about stuff that I would talk about on this show. So it's worth listening to. And they have a great Patreon as well. You get episodes early and a bunch of stuff there. Anyway, if you want to give other people money, that's cool too. But anyway, also welcome to October. Let me know what you're watching for movies and stuff. This is when I go whole hog into the horror. But not the horror of the world. That's something I try and disassociate from, and I feel very untethered. But we can talk about that if you want to email me at ken@icanread.com or tvguidancecounselor@gmail.com or on the Patreon or wherever you want to message me. I love hearing from you guys and seeing how you're doing, because it ain't easy out there. Or if you have questions, I'll collect them for the annual year in review episode, which will be in 2 months from now, which could go really quickly or could feel like an eternity. Who knows? Anyway, for the time being, sit back, relax, and enjoy this week's episode of TV Guidance Counselor with my guest, Zachariah Durr.
TV is my friend, and it has been always there for me in time of need.
Live from a fortified location in the Cleveland area. Zachariah, how are you, sir?
Hi, I'm good. I'm safe. I'm in the bunker. I have all the canned food I need. Thank you.
I see the generator back there. It looks like it's brimming with diesel fuel. So
Smells great.
Yeah, it always does. I mean, a lot of people. Have you ever, there's people who are like, I love the smell of gasoline. Have you ever encountered one of those people?
Yes. I somehow wind up dating a lot of people who make that claim, and I don't know if it's something about my general scent that has that in the pheromones. I don't get it. I don't like it. If I step on gas and then step in my car and smell it for weeks, I don't love that feeling.
I've seen they sell scented candles that smell like gasoline. Like, it's very strange. Yeah, I like some weird scents. A lot of like plasticky stuff. I like a Trapper Keeper. Like sure. That scent is really nice. Right. Wood at a Home Depot, that kind of thing. But gasoline, I draw the line.
Right. Yeah, we're a broken country. We don't need all that.
Yeah, it's true. I'm not huffing. So this is a rare instance. So you BYOTVG. It happens occasionally. Mm-hmm. People bring their own TV guide. I have my copy here. Now yours is a Cleveland edition.
That's right.
Presume.
Yes, it is.
And mine is a Boston edition. So there'll be some regional variants here. Sure. But here's a question that will sound ridiculous coming from me. Why do you own that TV guide?
So I own only 2 issues of TV Guide myself. I have a 1970-something with an interview with Jim Henson. It was like the first Muppet Show cover they did. And
Yep, it's the 1971. It's got ABCs. It's drawn like a cartoon version. Cookie Monsters on it.
No, this is a photo of Kermit peeking his little head out around a curtain.
Oh, yes, I do know that one.
And it has a kind of an odd, sort of defensive sounding Jim Henson. Wow, that's a lot of dog.
I got 3 dogs. Yeah.
And they really get excited when people talk about Jim Henson.
Yeah, they hear the name and they just go nuts.
Well, I don't blame them. This particular issue I have, and it is my personal copy from when I was 11 years old. I have this copy because Michael Jackson is on the cover. And in 1991, liking Michael Jackson was a not controversial opinion.
No.
And it was the first contemporary music star that I liked and was obsessed with. And so I kept this TV Guide because it was the preview of his new music video. Very exciting stuff.
Yeah, and I believe it's black or white?
Black or white.
Black or white.
That's right.
Directed by John Landis.
That's right. America's sweetheart, John
America's
Landis.
sweetheart, John Landis. Don't work overtime for him. So I will say, too, the Henson article, I know 100% why he was probably very defensive at that point because he had just come off the SNL debacle.
Oh, right.
And that was horrific for him.
Yeah.
But it made him innovate, and I've talked about it on the show before, the idea to do the Muppets in first-run syndication with a British production company, seemed like the dumbest idea ever. And he, basically created a whole new distribution channel for television.
Well, the Brits and the French, they take their puppetry really seriously in a way
They
that
certainly
Americans really kind of still don't, but definitely not before the 1970s.
People at home are playing TV Guidance Counselor Bingo. I'm going to mention spending the day with John Cleese. But a couple of years back, I got to spend the day with John Cleese. And the coolest thing I talked to him about was when he hosted The Muppet Show.
Great episode.
It's a great episode, and it was the first time he did sketch comedy since Python.
Wow.
Which was really interesting. But he made this really interesting point where he was social friends with Jim and Frank Oz because they shot the Muppets in London. They lived there. So he knew them. And he's like, but when I was recording, Frank and Jim were not there. He's like, it was Kermit. And it's like, he was the weirdest thing. It wasn't like, oh, this is my friend acting.
Sure.
He's like,
yeah.
It did not even factor into my brain that these were not their own characters.
Right. Yeah.
Which kind of is the greatest compliment ever for those guys.
Absolutely. And I mean, I'm not Mr. Purist, but it really is why replacing the performers for the Muppets always seems like a foregone conclusion to me, because those were inhabited characters to such an extent that it's always just going to kind of be an impression as opposed to somebody embodying a psyche or a character. And I think
it's so hard to recast. It just feels fake to me.
Truly. And I think, wasn't the John Cleese episode, that was one of the first that the guest host co-wrote with The Room, which that doesn't surprise me at all that he'd want to be in the mix like that. It's also, I'm sure, why it's so good.
Yeah, and he's friends with them too, so it was
Right.
it made sense. It was not an unusual mixture of people.
Yeah.
He said he kept getting a line wrong, and at one point he got it right, and Kermit was like, "Oh, all right, John, nice, you got it." And he was so happy, he patted him on the head and he was a co-star, yeah, we did it. And then he's like, "Does it what?" The puppet is so weird.
Can you imagine how good the Christmas parties must have been at the Henson?
Oh, I can't even. It'd be funny if they were just the most boring,
right,
awful thing ever.
Nothing but black coffee and boiled eggs.
I had someone told me, this is totally off topic, and we'll get to MJ in a moment here, but when they first moved to LA, they were dating the head of a studio's kid, someone that knew, big executive. Okay. And they got invited to a New Year's Eve party at Charlton Heston's house. She's like, this is amazing. This is going to be, this is Hollywood. I'm going to New Year's Eve party at Charlton Heston's house. So at 11 o'clock, he calls everyone in to get a screening room in his house. Calls everyone in, and he puts on the 10 Commandments, and then he just goes to bed. And no one wanted to leave. They're like, we know you just like went to bed, like, but this is really weird. Everyone was like, I guess we have to stay and watch this whole movie. Like, I don't know what's.
Oh, and that movie is a brisk 65 minutes, right?
Yes,
That's
yeah.
basically a short.
Yeah, the countdown's there. Yeah, I was like, man, at least put on Omega Man, like something.
So what, do you know around what year this was?
This was probably 77, I'm going to say.
So he's not that old.
No, he's probably in his 50s, maybe, early 60s.
That's not so long, guests. I'm turning in.
Yeah. Oh, no. I mean, I'd do that. I'd probably put a different movie on, but
sure.
Like a whole party of some people.
I mean, at least invite them out to the shooting range as an option.
Or if you want them out of the house, like, you have the means. Just brandish a weapon.
Truly, yeah.
It's not that bad.
Wow.
But yeah, so we're here. This is November 2nd to the 8th, 1991. As you mentioned, Michael Jackson on the cover. It's an interesting thing that's different. Like, I assume we're roughly the same age if you were 11. Yeah, I was also 11. People don't really understand the level of fame that was possible at this time. Because you had like Michael Jackson, Madonna, Bruce Springsteen, Tina Turner, kind of. That was like sort of the last that big. And maybe like Kurt Cobain later, but that's kind of more infamy. But, before that, your Elvis, your Madonna, your like iconic status famous people that everybody knows who they are.
Right.
Very few of them, and less as time went on. And Michael Jackson certainly was one of them, to the point where, and I haven't looked at this issue before, but I imagine they discuss it here. This video premiered simultaneously in primetime on, I think, like Fox and MTV at the same time, or it might have been multiple networks.
Right. I think it was just Fox and MTV had the deal.
That's insane.
Yeah, and even with Kurt Cobain, like Kurt Cobain would not be getting off a plane in a remote African village and the people there know who he is. Like Michael Jackson had that sort of worldwide ubiquitous fame that... Is that possible now? I don't know. Like maybe the president, but not necessarily.
It's funny because the world is so much smaller now, so you think it would be more popular, but at the same time, everything's a niche. Like there's no thing that just covers all sectors.
And American monoculture was coating the planet like the Sherman Williams logo. It
exactly.
Truly ran the tables
in blood.
Yeah, isn't that the most relaxing logo? The Sherman Williams cover the earth of their paint, dumping over the globe, dripping blood.
It's always red paint too, right?
That's right.
Remember right? Because it doesn't even say paint. I think it's a Sherman Williams cover the earth, and it's just a guy pouring red liquid covering the earth.
They've tried to get rid of it in the past, and people have complained, and they've brought it back. I know this because. The Sherman Williams building is in Cleveland.
Okay, is that like that's the home base for?
Yes, it is. We have that, and we have Dayglow Paint, or our paint companies here.
Oh, nice. Yep. The Sherman Williams, is the building sort of like frosted like a cake? Like is the paint dripping down from the top, or is
it looks like in Ghostbusters 2 when there's just ooze coming off the top of the building at all times.
Slime.
Yeah, it's disgusting.
Yeah. The building just sweats. People show up with cans and they'll try and get free paint.
Okay, so the 1991 Michael Jackson is in a weird place because, yes, everyone knows who he is, but he's not necessarily number one anymore in the way that he was. Like Dangerous, the album hadn't come out yet, and there was a lot riding up being not just a good seller, it had to be the best-selling album of all time again to make this guy happy. And so this issue was not the week that the video came out. This was the week before the video.
Yes, to get the hype going.
Came out, right. And what's so interesting, I mean, the video is absolutely crackers, and we can get into like my experience watching it in a minute, but reading the article of a person on set watching the Panther walk down a street, and then Michael Jackson acts like a panther, and it's like 3 a.m. it's not the most flatteringly written piece. And I've listened to the podcast, but I regret to say I have not listened to all 760 plus episodes.
I appreciate that's fine.
I'm working to be better. I'm on it. But have you ever talked to a person who wrote for TV Guide before?
Yes, several, yeah.
So it's such a different universe. I've worked for local television, local news syndicates now for the last, almost 10 years. And the way that people were allowed to be critical and have their own voice in a publication like this does not really exist anymore. Like if a person...
It didn't then, to be honest with you. It was sort of unique to TV Guide. Sorry to cut you off.
I suppose so, but I was also a real dork for Entertainment Weekly.
Loved Entertainment Weekly.
Which used to be a actual magazine with long articles that would be comparable to what people post online now. Now, of course,
funny,
it's
it had like a point of view. Yeah,
Yes.
up until like probably 2000, it kind of fell off.
Yes, and there were like people who were constant writers who had their own voice, and you would know what to look for. Now it's just a thing that's like made to take up space in a dentist's office. But I was wondering if, when you talk to these writers, did they talk about what was the editor of TV Guide like? Did they have guidelines?
Not really. So the thing about TV Guide was because of uniquely because of the nature of it, meaning people needed to buy this,
Right.
regardless of what the articles were.
Yeah.
Is A. B, it was the largest print run magazine in the world.
Sure.
So it was big enough and necessary enough that they didn't need to sort of bow down to anyone. They didn't need to get sort of the magazine equivalent of clickbait. They didn't need to be tabloid and exploitive. And they also didn't need to kiss the ass of studios because they weren't like, oh, we won't get access if we don't. They could write.
Right.
And so as a result, the writing is great and it can be critical, but it's very even-handed critical and like fair, if that makes sense.
You know, generally I agree with you, but while I was looking through issues to see which one I wanted to talk about, I was reading one of the fall preview issues, and they did a promo for a new sketch comedy, and the show had not been released yet. No one had seen it. And the summary is basically, this stinks.
Yep.
SNL it ain't. Don't waste your time. I'm going, wow, they have just buried the show without ever giving, like, and nobody can give it a chance now if you've read this. Like, why would you bother watching it?
Yeah, I think this will sound ridiculous. At the time, people were like, they did us a favor. There's so much television in
True.
1990
Yeah.
that we don't have time. So please, do some of the work for us here.
Right.
But fall preview, they would get particularly brutal. And the fall preview is always fascinating because it's always funny to me to see what shows they got right and what they got wrong, because they treat every show like it's going to be a 10-year, cultural phenomenon. Sometimes they accurately predict that, and sometimes it's a show that was on for like 3 episodes. It could have been a great show, but it's just that, the one that they're like, this is the next MASH. It's not.
I very clearly remember reading, I haven't read it since, but I remember reading their preview of South Park the week that it came out, and they give it like not just an F, like 0 stars. They basically say this show is evil.
Yeah.
No one should watch it. Like, there are children being murdered on it. And I remember reading and going, are they showing a snuff film? On the way that they're describing this thing, and then you see it, it's just, cut paper and people doing squeaky voices. But yeah, they really got on their high horse sometimes.
Especially in the late 90s, because once the power started to fade from the networks, it was a bit of the Wild West, and they definitely had a bias against especially basic cable stuff.
Okay.
So USA Network, Comedy Central, MTV, like that kind of stuff, they were very skeptical of inherently. So I feel like they had somewhat of a bias there.
But was it just because it's not the old guard of quality? Like, what would be the reason why you would say, well, this garbage?
I think that's it. I think they looked at it like fast food.
Wow.
If if they're like, look, we're restaurant critics, and you want us to go check out Taco Bell,
Yeah.
And that's kind of the attitude they had about it. Because it's not like they didn't know what they were talking about, and it's not like they weren't insightful and stuff, but they just inherently were like, well, I know this is not going to be worth looking at.
Oh, I mean, I guess except it just was very accelerated when Netflix started doing original streaming content. I mean, I remember people going, oh, those are going to be good shows. And, the first couple were a little duds, but they got it real quick and people had to shape up real quick.
One thing I've noticed, especially doing the show and like looking at all these TV guides and revisiting old shows, is that sort of the quality stuff is always comes out of desperation or a complete lack of understanding of how to do anything. Meaning, like Brendan Tartikoff at NBC, he greenlit all these shows that became the greatest shows of all time. Your Cheers, your Hill Street Blues, Miami Vice, all these things, because they were the last place network, and they were like, we got nothing to lose. It's like down the toilet, do whatever. He was like, how about all these things? Or cable, they were like, look, we don't have the money. Like, what can we do? What's going to work? I don't know. I've never. So like when stuff that comes out and gets innovated, it's kind of a fluke, because generally the executives are like, look, I don't know anything about this.
Yeah.
You guys, you told me you could do this for this money. Do it. We'll see how it goes. And I feel like Netflix was like that in like Stranger Things. Like that was a complete fluke. Like given the cultural phenomenon that it is, that is really weird. Like they were like, I don't know, this seems all right, whatever. Is this what people want? I don't know. Like Fox, they just didn't know. And so as a result, they weren't trying to micromanage what it would be, and they got good stuff.
Confusion or desperation are the only two times that actual new good quality shows, music, whatever, are allowed to come out.
Yeah, when people are like, we don't know anymore, whatever.
Yeah. I don't think that new Fantastic Four movie, I don't think that looks like a 1960s Futurama if everything's going great at Marvel.
No, 100%.
Because it's too weird.
Yeah, they're like, okay, well, whatever we're doing is not working. Hire some guy. He said he'll do something. I don't know. As long as you don't cost us too much. And that's exactly it. And then it's 91, it's sort of faded a little bit, but mid to late 80s, you had this world where you had the networks, you had UHF stations, you had movie theaters, you still had drive-ins, you had home video and pay cable, and they're all vying for content. So even just trying to obtain content to fill the hours, there's a scramble to get anything. And so they're showing really good old shows. They're showing foreign stuff. Like, we're just getting this influx of all kinds of things just because they needed content.
Right. Isn't it cute that used to feel overwhelming?
Yeah. We need someone to sort of wade through this for us. And Black or White, so they tried to do this with Bad, which I believe was between Thriller and Dangerous.
Right.
And the video for Bad had the big premiere and did very well. But more so with this, they're really, maybe this is hindsight, almost pathetically trying to recreate Thriller. So they get Landis back, who did Thriller. They're doing this like short film again. They're like, we have innovative special effects because they're using morphing, because this was the fall after T2 was the big hit that summer. And they get Macaulay Culkin in the video.
Bart Simpson introduces the video.
Yeah.
It's truly, even as a 11-year-old child, I was just like, this is too much stuff. Because it's Bart Simpson says, here's my hero, Michael Jackson, or something like that. Then Macaulay Culkin blasts George Wendt into outer space. Then the people of the world unite around our god, Michael Jackson.
Yep.
And then Michael Jackson smashes up a car and grabs his crotch. And whenever you're watching it with your parents, endlessly. I think
it's like 5 minutes though.
Yeah,
like,
but it seems like 45 minutes when you're next to your mom.
Yeah, it's so the beginning. Macaulay Culkin listening to the song, and his dad's like, you know, and it's a bit of a ripoff of Twisted Sisters. We're not going to take it, basically.
Sure.
And then you have this sort of narrative thing, and Michael Jackson gets a pipe, and he's just beating the shit out of this car, screaming, and literally not like it's like he's grabbing his groin and like pulling as hard as possible on that thing forever. It's like it's like the little sub game in Street Fighter 2 where you're gonna destroy the car.
Yes, it's that, but it's also it's not as though he during this whole video is like, this is me now, an adult, and the whole thing is this grim dystopian look. No. It is a goofy cartoon that then turns into just like feel good, we are the world sort of thing, and then it ends with this gritty thing, which then, did you know that later on they using CGI
they put like
racial
racist
slurs all over the car, so it made some sort of sense.
He's mad at that car because it's racist.
That's right.
Like, why even just pretend you didn't shoot that thing? It didn't cost a lot. It's just one guy standing on a car like an old jalopy. Yeah, it was bonkers. They threw everything possible at it. And it also comes in the wake of Moonwalker, which I think was 89 or 90.
It was right after Bad.
Yeah, and Moonwalker is much more like this video than it is Bad. So Moonwalker was
it's like the
movie.
Beginning of this video.
Yes.
It's all very kid-friendly. He dances with a Will Vinton clay rabbit. He's... Oh, what else happens? He turns into a flying robot.
Yeah, Dennis Hopper's evil.
Yes. Joe Pesci.
Joe Pesci, that's
Joe
right.
Pesci wants to hook the children of the world on drugs.
Yeah, that gets really dark there.
Yes, that's the entirety of the plan. And at one point, he grabs a 5-year-old girl and has a syringe full of drugs he's going to inject her with. And then Michael Jackson turns into a robot and blows him up, and then he turns into a rocket ship. It's like a 5-year-old describing his dream.
It's nuts. So it's much more like this feels like a continuation of Moonwalker. And that movie was not a hit either. Like people were like, what is this?
Well, it was home video, so I think it did okay.
It gave us the Genesis game, which is fantastic.
All worth it.
Which my favorite thing about that game is the way that he throws magic at people, and he's like,
well, if you play it in the arcade, it's the only game I know of that has a dedicated dance button.
Yes. Yep. Yeah. Just dance. Just do it. Yeah. So very strange. This is also when we're getting, this is pre-molestation allegations, or sort of pre-mainstream ones. They're sort of bubbling.
He's just described as weird at this point.
He's sleeping in a hyperbolic chamber. He's got a chimp named Bubbles. He's just weird is kind of where they're at. He's weird and he hasn't found the right girl. That's where we're at with 1991.
That's right. Confirmed bachelor, Michael Jackson. Isn't it nice? He's so nice to kids.
But there was stories around this time of he would hire like Rick Baker to do like white person old age makeup on him, like Eddie Murphy in Nutty Professor, and then so he could like go shopping.
Yeah.
Like weird stuff like that. Yeah. Where it's just like, okay.
He white chicked himself.
Yeah, it was very strange. So this article in here is about this coming out next week, and then we get an All-Star November. So it's November sweeps. We got Thanksgiving coming up, so they're talking about all like sort of the big stuff that's coming up for this week. There's a friend of the show, Tom Arnold, and Roseanne. You have Eddie Murphy, who is hosting a party for Richard Pryor. There's an All-Star Newhart reunion. There's like all this stuff, like I'm making air quotes in my mind, of quality TV.
Yeah. Yeah, and even the things that they pick out as like, this is going to be a highlight of the season are odd. I mean, really, like if The Simpsons, was Aerosmith really their biggest guest that season?
91? Maybe.
You think
it's only the second season.
Yeah, I suppose.
Yeah, and Aerosmith 91, huge, coming off the back of Wayne's World.
Yeah. That I always forget how Get a Grip just like took over the nation with Alicia Silverstone videos.
Yeah, that was 93. So like 91, you get like Janie's Got a Gun. Dude looks like a lady. Ragdoll, Was that
all off of Pump? Was it that album?
It was Pump and Permanent Vacation. Permanent Vacation, I think, had one of them up. But yeah, I think the rest were all off of Pump.
Okay.
If people aren't familiar with Aerosmith's Pump, just pause right now for a second. Just Google the cover of that record, which is a truck banging another truck.
All of Aerosmith's album covers from that era are very classy and very subtle.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. I remember I had a Get a Grip t-shirt of the cow udder with the piercing.
Sure.
Because I saw Aerosmith at Great Woods in Mansfield, Mass, and they had Four Non Blondes open for them.
Mamma mia. See, here's the thing about Four Non Blondes is if my relationship with my father, every year he will ask me, what happened to that band with the lady with the hat and the big eyes? And I am trained at this point. I've heard this question so many times. I now know he's talking about Four Non Blondes.
Did you guess Jamiroquai at one point?
No, but I should lead him down that trail. Show him the video of this one.
It's this one. This is what you're talking about. 100%. No, it's definitely this.
I don't know why that song stuck it with my father so hard, but it really did.
That happens with dads sometimes.
Yeah, it's true. They pick a thing.
Yeah. So, you got all kinds of stuff in here. And I don't know if this is in your copy, but on page 10 of mine with the series highlight, there's a half-page ad along the bottom for Oscar Mayer meat.
Oh, there sure is. Yeah.
This is the most disgusting looking sandwich I've seen in a long time.
I'm looking at, so we're looking at a baguette just loaded with different types of cold cuts.
Yeah.
On top of, looks like some chopped peppers and lettuce. This is that style of photo of a sandwich where everything clearly has cardboard slid, but it's too tall. Nothing's mushing together. I mean, I don't know if it makes me hungry. What's exactly grossing you? The picture of the package of meat is more giving me...
It's the meats, because they all look like tongues. They look like folded tongues, especially whatever that is across the top. Like Oscar Mayer deli meat is some of the most disgusting stuff I can think of. Like I was a deli meat snob even at this point in my life, and I was like, this is disgusting.
I'll tell you what's really better than Oscar Mayer hot dogs. Boy, are they soft.
Yeah. Yeah, you don't want a soft hot dog.
No.
And now they have ads all over the internet.
I want to gum my hot dog, personally.
Then I love this on page 12. There's an article on Amanda Donohoe, because she was on LA Law. I literally only knew her from Lair the White Worm. The Ken Russell movie.
That's who that is.
Yes. Yes.
Oh my God. Why did they give her that haircut?
So if you've not seen Ken Russell's Lair of the White Worm, it's awesome.
Oh, it's great.
Weird. And she plays this pagan snake vampire woman with a giant penis thing that she attacks people with. That's not even the weirdest part of the movie.
There's a very famous clip right now of her pushing a young boy into a hot tub with her heel.
Yes.
So maybe you've seen that if you've not seen the movie.
Yes, after he plays his harmonica for her, which charms her like a snake.
That movie's so good.
Yeah, and they mention it here. They say she plays Lady Sylvia Marsh in the 1988 horror spoof Lair of the White Worm. The film's director was far-out Ken Russell. Quote, Ken sent on the most extreme person he's ever met, Donohoe notes. Which, if you spend 2 seconds looking up Ken Russell, if he said that to you, you should probably just turn yourself into the police, even if you haven't done anything.
Truly.
And so she's on LA Law, and she became like a big sort of mainstream actress in America for a while after that, which is bizarre.
I'll admit I breezed. I don't know anything about LA Law. It was never on my show, so I just breezed by this article. Man, that's great.
It's so weird. And then there's like a 2-page article about how Garth Brooks is going to be on Empty Nest.
Yeah.
Which, again, Sweeps Week in 1991, Garth Brooks is massive. Even growing up here in the Northeast, where we have a wall that protects us from country music. Mm-hmm. It did not exist, but even we knew who he was here. And so having him on Empty Nest, that's literally like the #1 recording artist in the country. I think he beat Michael Jackson actually on the charts, which was like one of the few people that was
for sure
doing
no
better
offenses.
than him there.
Yeah.
what's one of the wearer of some of the worst shirts I've ever seen in my life, too.
Also, I'm in no position to make judgments on anyone's appearance, but I'm reading here, Garth Brooks is 29. I'm looking at the photo of him. Like, you know those photos of the 50s where you see high school kids and you go, why is the janitor in his senior year of high school? Because everyone looked older. Garth Brooks, he was born to be a 43-year-old dad, wasn't he?
Yeah, divorced 43-year-old. Like, so he's sitting next to Richard Mulligan, and Mulligan's clearly never held a guitar in his life, by the way. Like, just the way he's holding it. Mulligan looks maybe 2 years older than him.
We looks like we're looking at two midlife crises.
Yeah.
Coming together.
Yeah.
In this photo of
like
them
a weird
guitars.
buddy cop movie of two guys who are about to retire.
Those pants on Garth Brooks leave no surprises either.
No, I think those were acid washed jeans.
Definitely, but they look like they are painted onto the man.
Yeah, these are if they're not made to be stretch jeans, they are now.
They fit.
Yes. So then we get the grapevine here, which I don't normally bring up, but there's a great mention of Wings Hauser, who I always have to bring up because was an amazing drunk. And it says, Lightning Force star Wings Hauser wants us to know he's not into the latest macho Hollywood trend of actors doing their own stunts. Quote, I know about the new wave, Bruce Willis does his own stunts, and all that bull, says Hauser, but that's all ego. Are these actors so bored with acting they have to throw their bodies against something and crash it? Hauser, who plays the head of a crack international Desert Storm military unit in the syndicated action-adventure series, says he doesn't do stunts for two reasons. First of all, I'm 43, and it hurts. And secondly, he recalls, about 10 years ago, I was doing a stunt on a movie, and a very well-known actor pointed out, quote, every time you do a stunt, you take a check out of some other guy's pocket. And I said, that's it. I'll never do a stunt again. Besides, adds Hauser, I'm hired to act and look pretty. I would rather be in a chair resting my legs. I love that he's like, you do that stunts, you suck.
That's right. He'll never cross a picket line, and that's the reason. He's a man of ethics. That's not because he does not want to get up out of his chair.
No, he's like, I don't want to take someone's paycheck here. I have an ad for Kent cigarettes with a woman who looks like Erin Gray but isn't, it says, portraits of pleasure. Kent gives you a light with pleasure. No.
She also has her hand on her head, and it looks like she is sticking her cigarette into the part of her hair.
Like she has a hole in the top of her head that she smokes through.
It's like a really lazy space alien design, like a Sid Croft show. It's like, we smoke off the top of her head.
Like if Columbo was actually smoking all the time. It's got this, like a dolphin blowhole you smoke out of.
Right.
What a good ad campaign that is. So let's dive in here. Saturday night, what are you doing?
Can I backtrack for just a second? I'm so sorry.
No.
One of my favorite things, it doesn't matter what magazine I am reading, if it is pre-2000, I always read the letters.
Yes.
Because thinking about somebody reading a TV Guide article and going, they need to know what I think, and you sit down with your stationery, it says like, from the desk of Barbara, and you write your little note out, and then you take the time to stamp it, look up the address, and then, these are people writing TV Guide mad about the best dressed issue. Mm-hmm. They're so disturbed they have to write something. And this is what Patrick Jones in Tustin, California says. Best of the best. Sharon Glass looks like a clown from a cross-dresser's rodeo.
I'd watch a cross-dresser's rodeo, to be honest with you. Like, that sounds awesome.
And Arsenio Hall looks like he hopes to get his likeness immortalized on the side of a lunchbox.
What does that mean?
I don't know what that means. I was hoping maybe you could unpack it for me, but I'm going to start saying that now to when I see an outfit, whether I like it or not. Oh, what are you trying to make it to the side of a lunchbox?
There's also a girl named Jan Carlton from Dayton, Ohio. So maybe.
Don't get me started about Jan. Just kidding.
I don't know if you know her. But she says, I'm disappointed with Mr. Blackwell's decision to exclude Murphy Brow's Candice Bergen from the Best Dressed on TV list. I'm constantly amazed at Bergen's ability to mix professional and personal style with femininity and a sense of her character. Bergen would have been a much more logical choice than the trials of Rosie O'Neill's Sharon Gless.
Now, I will admit I had never heard of the trials of Rosie O'Neill because at 11 it somehow just was not hitting me. Yeah. So I looked up Sharon Glass on the show. She's just wearing like billowy pantsuits.
Yeah, it's very 91. It's very middle-aged woman in 1991.
But they're describing her in a way that I thought she was dressing like a tart or a woman of the night, the way that this woman is writing about her.
I mean, I guess they're expecting people to dress like Mama from Mama's Family if they're over 40 in 1991. Which, ironically, Mayim Bialik did dress like Aunt Blossom.
I guess she just needed a Spirit Halloween wig, and I guess she would have been there.
There's also a Massachusetts person here from Middleborough, Mass. Denise Lovely is this person's name.
Good name.
Who sounds like she would be in a cross-dressers rodeo. And it said, wouldn't it be wonderful if all of us, quote-unquote, harried and, quote-unquote, overworked moms could dress like the, quote, delectable doozies on Rodeo Drive? Unfortunately, reality dictates the needs must come before wants. Denise Lovely, Middleborough, Mass.
That has such a Larry King rhythm to it, doesn't it?
Yeah. And you think he goes through that?
Yeah, I do. I think he didn't want to embarrass himself in public, but he had strong feelings. Delectable
doozies. I don't think so. Needs come before wants. Delectable doozies. You know, Larry King had a rap group called the Delectable Doozies for a while. It was pretty great. The letters, any letter. And I always do the same, but then I always look up, see if it's anyone I know.
Has that ever happened?
It has.
Wow, that's great.
And I've scanned it, and then I just send it to them with nothing else.
Sure, yeah. You think someone forgot? No one forgot.
Like another tangent. I used to work in an office, and the woman who had the cube next to me would have like really loud personal phone calls all day. All day. Like, no, there's no way. I'm not doing that. We tell your mother. No, all day, every day. So I can touch type pretty quickly. So what I did was I just transcribed all of her phone calls for a whole day, all of her side of the phone calls for a whole day, put it in an email and just sent it. Didn't say anything else. It was just a straight transcription of everything she said on the phone during the day. And I heard, I pressed send and then I heard, oh, and then she didn't do it anymore.
Wow. So, all you have to do is terrorize somebody.
That's it. You just send them a letter they wrote with no I know. Then you have something over them.
That's right. An anonymous letter speaks for us all.
That's right. All right, let's jump in Saturday.
All right, Saturday. So I cannot tell a lie. It's against my nature. It's looking through this, and none of the newer shows were jumping out to me. But one thing that was wonderful about this era of TV is if you had basic cable, you could just come across movies that would just grow to be a part of you because they didn't cost much to air. Mm-hmm. So I am tuning into the Arts and Entertainment Network, as it was known then, back when they used to play the ballet. And I'm going to watch Roger Corman's The Terror with Jack Nicholson and Boris Karloff. It is ghost-directed by Francis Ford Coppola, part of their Edgar Allan Poe cycle. It's not their greatest Poe adaptation, probably Rumorg or...
Tomb of Ligeia, I would say, is my favorite.
Yeah, or even like The Raven is a lot of fun. Yeah. But it's a solid horror movie. If you like the sets from the other Poe movies, guess what? You're in luck. You're going to see him again. It's the same sets in every movie.
Yep.
And it's young Jack Nicholson just doing his darndest. Boris Karloff obviously having a great time. Probably half in the bag.
It's young Jack Nicholson playing like a soldier in the 1700s. It's a period piece.
He's always in some sort of leotard in these movies. But yeah, I would watch that, and it was just a great thing to have on a Saturday night while I did something else, possibly. Well, it was before a second screen, I would be drawing or flipping through a book or something like that and looking up whenever things got interesting.
Yeah, that was at the time, I'd be reading a magazine, having the TV on mute with the subtitles on, the closed captions, and listening to the radio. Which is usually what I'd be doing at the time. But this is the final season of Growing Pains and Who's the Boss? 91, they ended in 92 that year. So they moved them from Wednesday nights to Saturday night, which is just like a death spot. And so they're trying to make it seem like it's like on purpose and a good thing. There's ads in here. It's like, hey, new night, Growing Pains and Who's the Boss? But it's like, we're going to cancel these. So we're just going to put them here because no one watches these kind of shows on Saturday night. There's also the new WKRP in Cincinnati, which was the rebooted WKRP in Cincinnati, the continuation of the original before it went to first run syndication. So this was on NBC, and Howard Hessman was on it. It did not do well. It was canceled by mid-season. They brought it back in first-run syndication, and no more Howard Hessman, but the star was French Stewart.
Okay.
As like a punk rock shock jock.
Okay.
Sort of worked, I guess.
I guess. I mean, I'm thinking about 91's definition of shock jocks. If it wasn't like your local zoo crew, it would be Stern. I know Limbaugh got put under that moniker as well. So it's odd to have French Stewart in that role.
There was a lot of him basically saying fart. I think it was that kind of. It was like people who thought Bart Simpson was a shock jock.
That's very true.
Yeah, that was kind of it. I do want to mention too locally, so that you would not have been able to have enjoyed this, but locally on our TV 56, which was one of our UHF stations here in Boston, they were showing Munchies.
Well, thank you for making me jealous.
If you like Harvey Corman, and you want to see him in a challenging dual role in a Gremlins ripoff produced by Roger Corman, then Munchies is the movie for you.
Is that Dom DeLuise?
That's Munchie.
Oh, my gosh.
Directed by Fred Olin Ray or Jim Wynorski. It's one of them. Munchies, which Munchie is technically
that is the very
sequel to.
Gremlin-y one, yes.
Yeah. Yes. Where they're like little Aztec stone things, and when it's very strange.
Yeah.
And the show that was one of my holy grails forever. Mm-hmm. And I tape traded for years. There was like 3 shows I could never find. And one of them is on back-to-back this night, The Best of the Worst. This is a Fox show. It was like a magazine show hosted by Greg Kinnear. It was very fun. I couldn't find it forever. And literally, thanks to listeners of the show, in the last few months, they pointed out there's a guy on YouTube who posted 3 episodes, which is like half the run.
Wow.
And he just posted them too. This is like, this show aired in 1991 and they're just getting posted now.
Those Best of the Worst, I love that show, but it always was frustrating because I'm like, just play the show.
Yeah.
Seeing clips with people talking over them really sent me around the bend because I just wanted to experience the muck and the mire of sitting through those.
Yeah, of course. P.S. I Love You, I don't remember, but it has a cool ad in here with Connie Selica. It's like a period piece. Oh, just this episode. They're in the golden age of gangsters. Okay, so that's a special episode.
Wow.
Okay, Sunday, what are you doing?
Sunday night, now I know we're starting at 8, which is making me upset because I want to watch The Adventures of Mark and Brian and Eerie, Indiana.
Speaking of shock jocks.
Now, looking back, I have not gone back to watch them. This was a show I did love as a kid. If you somehow have never watched The Adventures of Mark and Brian, they were 2 Zoo Crew radio hosts from
LA,
somewhere. LA. Oh, yeah, probably LA. And they were sent on kind of like Impractical Jokers light style stuff where they would experience different things. They would try to, in this episode, looks like they're planning a wedding.
Yep.
They sent them on that whatever the faux space trip thing is, where they send you high enough up that you are
weightless
not in
for
gravity.
2 seconds.
Yeah. They had them do that. I thought they were just a stone riot when I was 11, and looking back now, I'm like, oh, this is probably the thinnest soup possible.
Oh yeah, it was like very lightweight Jackass / Impractical Jokers with two guys with mullets, one had a beard. That was the only difference. And yeah, it would be like, let's bungee jump and then we'll do pretzel joke. Yeah, this one they're wedding planning. Eerie, Indiana is to this day a fantastic show.
That show rocks.
It might be my favorite thing Joe Dante did. Speaking of Gremlins,
Wow.
it still holds up.
It's legitimately a great show.
Really good, amazing character actors, just bizarre. Like, it feels modern because it's like weirdly out of time. Like, it's sort of that pseudo 50s thing. Mm-hmm. This episode is the one where he's trying to get a heart transplant for Danielle Harris, who's a girl that he likes. This is a really weird one. People probably know the Forever Wear episode with the twins in Tupperware. I think that was the pilot, or the Braces one where the kid can hear dogs' thoughts.
Yeah. They're all good.
They're all good. I think there's 17 episodes, I want to say. Yeah, and there's not a single bad one. They're great.
As long as we are rebooting, like, I don't know if you got the push alert for this, but they are rebooting the Cowboys of Moo Mesa cartoon.
Yes.
If you can do that, can we please get an Eerie, Indiana reboot and put Dante at the helm?
It would have to be Dante, because otherwise I feel like it would be like that Dark Sabrina show. Like, they'd make it like Riverdale or something. You know, like, it would be really dark and CW and broody.
Right. That is the bad reboot version. I think it is possible, because if Eerie, Indiana had been on streaming, I think it could have had a fighting chance.
Well, did you ever see the sequel series, The Other Side?
Never saw that.
So they had one in the late 90s, and I think it was either on Fox Kids or Fox Family Channel. Okay. And it's called Eerie, Indiana, The Other Side. And it's a reboot, very good show, not as good as the original, but the premise is it's like a alternate universe version of the leads from the first one, and it like bleeds over into the universe a little bit, so they become aware of the weirdness from the first series through like a weird, I forget what they get, like a transmission from Omri Katz and his buddy there, and then they live in Eerie, Indiana, in like that universe, and then it's basically the same show. But they pushed it. It was called Eerie, Indiana, The Other Side. They had like a series of like young adult novels, and they tried it for a season, and people still weren't having it. Like, nope.
I can't believe the Family Channel didn't have a blockbuster run on their hands.
I know. Oh, this will not be in your issue. This is a local ad. I don't know if you can see this, but if you can tell the people what you see.
I'm a little stymied at what I'm looking at. So it's an ad for Superman 3. Oh, I see. Wow, the layout is a little confusing.
It's a double feature on our local Fox affiliate.
Superman 3 and The Fly. And it says one flies, one dies, and there's a can of Raid with the Superman logo blasting a fly out of the air. Wow, somebody was so proud of themselves at Fox 25.
This might be the bit, like, what a weird but kind of clever double feature.
Sure, yeah. I mean, you have sort of forced that to work through that graphic.
Yeah, I feel like The Fly 2 would make more sense, just from like a bad movie standpoint.
Sure.
But,
yeah, if we're talking quality, sure.
But a person who enjoys Superman is not going to like The Fly.
No, that's a real tone shifter.
Yeah. Donner to Cronenberg, that's a shift I can't think of any of their movies. Even like The Omen wouldn't blend well into a Cronenberg film.
There's less puking on food in The Omen.
Slightly less, yeah.
So if we were doing 8 p.m., though, I'm going to tell you what I actually would have wound up watching, which would be America's Funniest Home Videos and America's Funniest People, which I did not like, but it was on, and it was on right afterwards. So I picked these also because I would love to read the descriptions of these shows.
We'll read them in a moment. I do want to say America's Funniest People was a show that literally existed because this was the hope of the networks. 10 minutes into the show, people would go, "Is this still Funniest Home Videos?" Because it wasn't clear that one show had ended and the other had begun. Like, they on purpose did this. And America's Funniest People was just like nothing. It was like, we're going to go to malls. And,
terrible.
Yeah, not great.
Well, the worst part, I auditioned for it and didn't get on.
Oh, at a mall?
That's the worst part, yes.
What did you do?
I did some jokes that I'm sure were... Oh, I know what I did. I had a soda can, and I said the soda can is going to do impressions. And so I had it go... Wow. I really had not thought about this since I did it, so thank you. So I held the soda can up straight, and I said, it's the Statue of Liberty. And then I held it at an angle, and I said, it's the Leaning Tower of Pisa. And then... What was the plane that went down and crashed?
Oh, flight, Pan Am, the Pan Am flight? Yeah.
Yes, and I said, it's a Pan Am, and I dropped it.
That's why it didn't air.
Well, looking back, yes.
Did you open it and it explode like it was fizzing?
I was something of the shock jock of America's Funniest
you were like
People.
Mark and Brian.
I was the French Stewart of the audition cycle.
Very squinty.
Yeah. I mean, I just remember being Great Northern Mall and just in this eternal line.
1991. I might have been 91. So two things I did in malls. Mm-hmm. One, I auditioned for Funhouse.
Damn.
And they had J.D. Roth there, and they had a little like obstacle course. That was at the Meadow Glen Mall in Medford, Mass. And J.D. Roth called me Husky. To this day, I will never forgive him. And
JD.
If I see him, it's going to be bad for him. I'm telling you that right now, JD. Two, at the Assembly Square Mall in Somerville, a couple miles from the Meadow Glen Mall, they had Comedy Central did a thing called Stand Up to Go. And you could do stand up in this booth, and then if they liked it, they would air it. So I was 11 or 12 years old, and I did stand up, and they aired it on Short Attention Span Theater. And I used to have a tape of it, and it was terrible. I can't think of any of the jokes, but the only one I remember, the punchline was something like "closed for the winter," and I was like, "Closed for the winter," and I was like, "You don't care." Like, because I had a really broad Boston accent at that time. And I remember the guy who was like there from Comedy Central gave me a Comedy Central yo-yo after.
That's kind of cool. Do you still have that?
I do still have that.
That's great.
I wish I still had the tape. And it was funny because when I started actual stand-up like 10 years after that, I was like, I've been on Comedy Central.
Now, did you get rid of the tape because you were embarrassed by it, or it
No.
just kind of went?
No, so when I moved out at 18, I left a bunch of stuff in my parents' house, and then my mother ended up losing the house while I lived in the UK. It was like a whole mess. But all my Entertainment Weeklies, Maximum Rock and Rolls, like all this stuff was in the attic, and all my videotapes that I hadn't like rescued, and that included my cable access show that I had when I was 10 about comic books.
That's too bad.
Yeah, that and the Comedy Central thing had
that sucks,
the
man.
time. But I remember they sent me a tape of it later to Comedy Central. So I actually had two tapes. I had the one I taped off TV, and they sent me one in this cool like Comedy Central sleeve, like a
wow,
that's a rough one, but
legit.
Yeah, that's what I did at the mall. Also want to mention USA Network has a show I don't remember, but it's called the USA Gonzo Games.
I saw that, and it's very Nickelodeon-y.
It says face juicers, fish story, fireman's pole, and cherry pie plop.
I'm sold.
If we're doing $10,000 pyramid and those are my clues, I'd be like, face juicers, cherry pie plop. You'd be like, USA Gonzo Games. It looks very much like it's based on Endurance, the Japanese show, which they kept trying to do U.S. versions of here. Unsolved Mysteries, also I should mention, has a horrifying ad. I don't know if it's in your issue.
It's not, but the... oh, wait. Do I have that?
Here you go.
Yes. The description is really bad. Yeah, I have the same ad of a terrified-looking woman. This is... the description is... The special edition focuses on what the producers call the diabolical mind, including profiles of Adolf Hitler and Saddam Hussein, and an interview with a convicted murderer.
That doesn't sound fun. That doesn't sound, and it's a terrified woman, yeah, and it literally says Diabolical Minds, Sunday special.
Oh no, Saddam Hussein!
Yeah, that's weird. Funny Some Videos at the same time. So this is, you can either watch Saddam Hussein and Adolf Hitler's Minds, or, and I always love Funny Some Videos, they almost always, the first word in their description is almost always scheduled.
Right. Well, don't get too disappointed if you're not.
This is what they told us would be on, but if it's not.
And also, as a precursor to everything before 8 p.m. this week, it says that everything may be held up because of the Mideast Peace Conference happening.
This is post Gulf War, I believe.
Yeah.
So we are scheduled. A scout isn't prepared when he sneezes at a merit badge ceremony. A horse startles a kid by a nose. I don't
know what that means either.
No. A dog tries to stuff his stuffed pig into his doghouse. A rhino horns in on a friend. Also, a mini peeping Tom. That sounds like a diabolical mind.
Now, the Funniest People has a very intriguing ending to it. So, a chimpanzee in a wig apes a pretty woman doing aerobics, shaving her legs and applying makeup. 4 big brothers from Harrisburg, PA, do a rap about fat. Also, Jackalope goes to sea on a cruise ship. Conclusion. So, I'm guessing this is the end of a Jackalope saga that people had been breathlessly following.
Yes. So the jackalope, for people that don't know, a jackalope is a famous thing they would sell in tourist traps, and it's basically, it would be like a rabbit's head with deer antlers, and they'd sell it like it was a real animal. So they had a puppet of that, and Dave Coulier would do the voice. And the thing about America's Funniest People was it was people in malls, but people would also send in like their shitty sketches they made on their VHS camera. And the jackalope was the actual real ABC producers making their version of that.
Their own terrible thing.
Yeah. And so, yeah, it would be multi-part stories about the jackalope.
Now, you're being very generous when you call the jackalope a puppet. It is a jackalope head that they have thrown a Hawaiian shirt around the base of and put sunglasses on it.
Yes.
And then Dave Coulier does the same voice as that beaver puppet he had on Full House.
Yeah. That was more for Welker. I did more for Welker.
No, you got it.
Yeah.
And then I think it was very Benny Hill, like just a lot of sped up.
But not, it was like if someone was like, can we do a Benny Hill you can show at church?
Yes, yeah. Jackalope was not getting stuck between pretty ladies' cleavage or anything like that.
Singing dirty limericks or anything. Yeah, it was just sped upness. I opened for Dave Coulier for a whole weekend once.
Wow, humble brag.
Very nice guy. There's also, Sunday nights were also the made-for-TV movie night. So the kids were watching what we just went through, but then the stuff aimed at adults, it's a lot of rip from the headline stuff. Mm-hmm. We got a full-page ad here for the mini-series based on a true story, False Arrest, starring Donna Mills and Robert Wagner. Crime, murder. Verdict, guilty. Only she didn't do it. All she had left was her innocence and the strength to prove it. Little boring. But then we have The Gambler Returns, The Luck of the Draw. Starring Kenny Rogers, Reba McEntire, and Rick Rossovich. A full 2-page, full spread in this particular issue.
With a full, I think Drew Struzan illustrated poster. This is part 1. This is a 2-parter movie. Also has Linda Evans.
Chuck Connor, Mickey Rooney.
Yep.
Patrick McNee.
Yep.
Jerry Burns, Gene Barry, Doug McClure, Hugh O'Brien. Wow. And Carradine. Wow, this man was so many drunk people on the set.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
They actually banned matches from the set of The Gambler.
That thing. And then this movie, world premiere, CBS Sunday movie. Mm-hmm. This is maybe the worst title I've ever read.
Yeah, you can read it.
Jacqueline Smith in The Rape of Dr. Willis. And then the plot says, This is ridiculous.
It's great.
The woman.
Can I read
Oh,
it?
yeah, go for it. It's all you.
The woman he raped is the only doctor who can save him. But will she?
Why? Who is this movie for?
That's 2 hours
So they give
of that.
So TV Guide gives The Gambler Returns 3 stars.
Okay.
It gives False Arrest 2 stars. And The Rape of Dr. Willis 2 stars.
Very generous week for TV Guide.
How is this a whole movie? Like, okay, a senior resident encounters the man who assaulted her, who is now in critical condition on her operating table. Is it in real time? Like, how is that a 2-hour movie? I don't want to watch it to find out, but I really am curious how that's a 2-hour movie.
Doesn't it also seem like, I don't think this is what it was, but if I read that description now, I would assume that was secret Christian movie.
Yeah, it does seem a little turn the other cheek. And also like, well, you know, it's not that big a deal.
Sure.
My God.
Yeah, I'll never know.
Also, the new Candid Camera is on earlier that day, and I just had one of the cast members of that on the show.
Wow.
Yeah. So there you go. And it wasn't Don DeLuise because he's deceased.
I was going to ask, but I thought it would be impolite.
Yeah. Do you have this ad in yours before we get
Yes,
to
I
Monday?
do. Before you even put it on camera, yes, I have the ad for Christopher's First Smile Doll.
What?
We are looking at a ceramic doll of a baby, which I guess would be cute, but it looks like they've brought this baby up like a pug, where you just press in his face with a dictionary.
I thought
so
there was
his head is
something
flat.
wrong with the baby, like had some condition that they were trying to do like representation of. It's not.
No. No, it's just some mother's darling.
You know what it looks? It looks like if one of the aliens in Mac and Me had a toupee on.
This is them after a year of assimilation.
Yes.
After the movie is done.
It's a horrific doll.
Well, you say that, but Kathy Barry Hippensteel, the talented creator of child dolls, has won many awards, including the top award from the Illinois Doll Makers Association. So
Her Chen was nominated for a prestigious 1989 Award of Excellence by Dolls Magazine.
her work is displayed in museums in France and the U.S. I bet it is.
And
doll ad.
she received a 1990 Achievement Award from the National Association of Limited Edition Doll Dealers.
They don't just let anyone in either.
So this is Christopher's First Smile, and this baby's probably 10 months old, or supposed to be. Like, this kid's only smiling this long. Yeah.
Well, Christopher had a rough couple of first months.
He's $63 plus shipping, but you get a 1-year unconditional guarantee. As I do
Against what? The baby murdering you?
I guess it is a horrifying thing. I need to look this up on eBay to see if any are on sale. And so original sale price was $63. Let's see if any are on there now. And what's your guess? Do you think the value of Christopher's First Smile went up or it went down?
Well, if you look at the last page of this ad, it shows you the investment potential.
Yes.
Now, Jason, in 1986, he was sold for $48, and now he is $887. Okay. In 1991, I think that bought you a car, so I don't know if that's accurate.
No.
Okay, please tell me, is Christopher's First Smile anywhere online?
There are 56 currently for sale on eBay.
Oh, okay. A lot of nanas dying. How much are they going for? If I want I want one in good condition.
The average price, and this is an in-box, good condition, and the box
probably a couple thousand, right?
The box looks like a
$1,000.
prison, 100%. Like, it looks like this. It's like a Hannibal Lecter. Like, this doll did something fucked up, and we have it in this containment unit, right? The average sale price is $17. Oh my God, Christopher. Yeah.
I write the Ashton Drake galleries and complain because the doll did not go up in value.
A guy did do that. He sued the Franklin Mint years ago. It's a very interesting court case because he cashed out his retirement and he bought all this Franklin Mint stuff because they're like, I mean, if you have a doll,
sweetie.
you know, you're in what, 5 years, it went from $48 to it's an $839 difference. Like, the stock market's not going to give you that kind. Real estate's not going to give you that kind of return. So obviously that didn't happen, and he sued them, and he lost.
No.
Yeah, he lost.
No justice.
Yeah. Baby Matthew from 1989, $207 difference. Yeah. So this was a dud, but clearly it's just a one-time mistake. This doll's horrifying. It looks like Littleface from Dick Tracy. Like, that's not, the proportions are wrong, and it's
very strange.
It has a Frankenstein haircut.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I'm gonna buy one. When's your birthday?
You have time, January 27th.
Okay.
I can't wait.
What we should do if you open a box and it's Christopher all tied up in this box with his hands in plastic so he can't attack you. The box opens like a coffin.
Oh, yeah, it's going on the mantle.
Yep. Oh, Christopher, your first smile at age 2. You take him out of the box. That's why he smiled.
Oh, horrifying.
Oh, Monday night. What are you doing?
Monday night. Well, I could watch The Fresh Prince, and this is an interesting description because it says Will hits it off famously with the full-figured Dee Dee, Dana Owens. They don't say that Dana Owens is better known as Queen Latifah.
Yeah.
Maybe a better description.
Yeah, and was known as Queen Latifah in 1991. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. The deep dive is Dana Owens. Or do you think that when she started acting, she thought no one would take her seriously as Queen Latifah? And then she realized, oh, nobody knows who I am.
I'm not going to get these full-figure roles if I'm going by Queen Latifah.
They think I'm just another husky actor.
Yeah, because 3 years later, by Living Signal, she's going by Queen Latifah.
Yeah. Yeah. A smart move. She's still going by Queen Latifah.
Yep.
She's nominated for Oscars with Queen Latifah.
Yep.
But I am instead watching MacGyver because this description. A bonk on the head, that's how you know it's a serious injury, a bonk on the head, sends MacGyver, Richard Dean Anderson, thank you, TV Guide, back in time to King Arthur's court, where his futuristic ways are a threat to Merlin's magic. But they also might prove that the magician didn't try to do in the king. This is part 1 of 2.
Yeah, this has a clip that always features on Alison Pregler and Phelan Porteous, have one of my favorite YouTube channels. And for some reason, anytime Merlin comes up, they show a clip from this where MacGyver goes, "Oh yes, Merlin!" Because MacGyver is in medieval England and he's still being a dick about it to people.
You seem mentally broken enough to know this. What season of MacGyver was this?
This 91 was season 7. I believe this was the final season.
They're really on fumes. When you go to King Arthur's court, you have to start scanning the job listings.
And they already revealed his first name this season. Do you know what his MacGyver's first name is?
Quigley, right?
Angus.
Angus. Okay. And that's when they're getting shut up, right?
Yeah, exactly. TNT has a movie on. I did not know this was a thing. Charlton Heston is Sherlock Holmes.
Yeah. Crazy,
And
right?
The title of this, I don't think this is a title of a Sherlock Holmes book, but this sounds like the most metal band ever. This movie's called The Crucifier of Blood.
Yeah. It makes me think that must be a real Sherlock Holmes story, right? Because that is a crazy name to give something in 91.
And it's like this like black and white, like pen and ink kind of drawing of, I imagine Charlton Heston's attempting an English accent in this because he's got his pipe and he's in profile and he's sort of floating over the Taj Mahal, which is also in London.
And also Big Ben. Yes.
And also Big Ben. A beautiful woman, an incredible treasure, an oath of blood, a trail of murder. Only one man can unravel the case of the Crucifier of Blood.
I mean, if he can disappear into a role as a Mexican man in Touch of Evil, he can play an English intellectual.
It's Sherlock Holmes is in a mystery resolving around a stolen treasure chest.
Oh, it sounds so bad.
Oh my God, Crucifier of Blood.
That really draws you in, and then the treasure chest drops you off.
I had no idea 1991 Charlton Heston is playing Sherlock Holmes. That sounds like a Simpsons joke.
Truly. It's interesting that is going on because my 9 p.m. pick is the other side of that coin. It is definite comfort food watching for me. I'm going back to A&E and watching the Sherlock Holmes mysteries, the BBC, Jeremy Brett. I love 80s, 90s, the weird grainy BBC film.
16 millimeter short ends.
But it always looks like they dragged it on the ground before they started filming. And they have that weird union rule where indoors is shot with video and exterior shot with film. So it's
different unions. You got to use different crews.
But yes, that's what I'll be watching. I love that Sherlock Holmes performance, and I do find it very comforting to watch that.
My favorite British union rule, like BBC union rule, was that if you played on a record and it was on Top of the Pops performed live, you had to play. They'd have the same person play. So there's a famous thing where All the Young Dudes, the Mott the Hoople song, was written by David Bowie, and Mott the Hoople plays it, but there's a weird piano chord that they couldn't get right, so Bowie plays it on the recording. So if you look up the performance, it's Mott the Hoople, and then like Bowie way in the back just playing like this one chord.
What a pro.
They're like, union rules, man.
Wow.
We passed up the second night of The Gambler, by the way, everybody. We'll never know how it ends. It's kind of like the jackalope of Kenny Rogers movies.
And Hish is... Haish? And Haish?
Yep.
And Haish is co-starring on Murphy Brown.
Do you know who I spent, and I don't mean it this way, but who I spent the evening of September 10th, 2001 with?
Well, I can guess based on what we just said.
It's Anne Heche.
Oh, okay.
She had a book out, and I was working at a local radio station, and she did a book event that night. So I had to interview her, and she literally was going on about how she's an alien from another planet.
I mean, I've heard things.
And I walk into work like, you guys are never going to believe what listen to this story. Oh, forget it. It's 9/11. Yeah. Okay, Tuesday night. Tuesday night,
so this is my for real what I did on Tuesday nights. I would watch the first half of Rescue 911.
Love Rescue 911.
Because I didn't like Full House. And then, after the first half hour, I'd flip over to Home Improvement, then go to Roseanne. And then if I'm doing a full 2 hours, I guess I'm going to go to Nick at Night, which is to be announced.
Yes, which probably meant it was Mr. Ed or the Donna Reed show. I'll Fly Away was on, which was a show with Sam Waterston. I've never seen a single second of I'll Fly Away, but it was a show that they were like, I'll Fly Away is the greatest show on TV. I'll Fly Away and Brooklyn Bridge. They were like, these two shows are the greatest shows on TV, and they're going to be canceled any second, and you all need to do everything you can to not have these shows canceled, because I'll Fly Away is the best show that's ever made, and it's your fault. Like, this was a huge...
Yes. They were basically offering to send you a $20 bill in the mail if you watched I'll Fly Away.
Yeah, and I'm sure it's good. I never saw it. Rescue 911 that night. 2 teens and a shotgun. It explodes. 1 down and badly injured. Miles from any help. I guarantee you they're Southern. They always are. And the call of that kid, it's got to be funny. It's got to be funny.
Well, guess what? You are a real statist because, it says in the description, the gun accident was in Utah.
You're right. Although to me, that's all the same. A teenage victim of a gun accident in Utah. An attempt to capture house robbers in Indianapolis that involved a high-speed chase. I'm gonna look this one up so I can have the call in Utah. I'll Fly Away That Night, I have to admit, sounds fucking awesome.
Yeah.
On Halloween, the specter of the KKK haunts Christina as she's asked to investigate Prentice Carver's death. It also haunts John Morgan, who's heard about the Dragon Men from Adeline. That sounds heavy, but also kind of amazing.
I'm sure it was great.
There's also a made-for-TV movie on called Posing.
Now, that's what I was going to bring up, because on the second half of the watch, what I would be watching, because my parents were in the room, would be Roseanne and Nick at Night. Mm-hmm. If it had just been me, I would have flipped the channel to CBS to watch Posing, inspired by 3 real stories. This was renamed I Posed for Playboy when it reran on Lifetime Channel.
So this is Linda Carter, all right, Michelle Green, and Amanda Peterson, who's no longer with us, but people knew her from Can't Buy Me Love and Heathers. And this is Posing, inspired by 3 real stories. Why did they do it? The Housewife. I wanted to feel irresistible again, like when I was first married. The Stockbroker. I got tired of being sexually invisible around guys. The College Student. To make up for all the dates I never had in high school.
And what's crazy is that this movie, which I did see and is basically an advertisement for Playboy, it's about how if you pose for Playboy, it is like going to therapy. It is going to save your marriage. It makes you irresistible to everyone. And it shows people walking into Playboy offices. It's just this beatific spa that people
they
walk
definitely
into.
produced it. So, like, it's of the same ilk of all the 70s episodes of Love Boat where marriage is saved by infidelity.
Yes. Yes. It is curious, though. I don't know if it's because CBS thought it would be too tawdry to show the Playboy logo on this. I mean, they renamed it pretty quick, so obviously they knew which side the bread was buttered on eventually. But
I'm sure there were huge board meeting arguments about it.
Yeah.
Where are we? Wednesday.
Well, guess what? You're welcome, TV Guide, because I did watch Brooklyn Bridge when it was broadcast, and at that point, we were a Nielsen family.
Were you? What a way to bury the lead here.
Yes, we were. We had the little box on the top that showed which programs we were watching, so we would always be sure to watch stuff like Brooklyn Bridge or Freaks and Geeks and all that, and we're very disappointed when stuff was canceled. Did you ever watch Brooklyn Bridge?
I did. I enjoyed it. Jenny Lewis is in this episode.
I saw.
Yeah, I did. But I didn't watch it till the last 10 years. I got bootlegs of it and watched it and thought it was good.
It's an extremely sweet show in a way that never felt saccharine.
I can't complain about that. I should go back and rewatch that too. Dinosaurs is on, which is 100% what I watched.
Well, don't worry, Brooklyn Bridge only. How many episodes did that get? 5?
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah, so don't worry. I was watching Dinosaurs real quick.
Yeah.
After that, there's nothing like we're gonna need another Timmy. And then at 9 o'clock, nothing was super grabbing me, so I guess I'm watching Night Court and Seinfeld. Why not?
In Seinfeld, it was not a hit at this time. This was the third time they'd moved the time slot. This is before they moved it to Thursdays. Previously, it was on, I think, Saturday nights opposite the second season of Get a Life. And they're like, NBC's funniest, hippest comedy series, Seinfeld. The episode of Night Court that's airing has Gilbert Gottfried in it. It is Bowles' bachelor party. This is the final season of Night Court, but not the actual final season of Night Court. That was the season before, and they all thought the show was over. They said their goodbyes, and then the network was like, yeah, come back for another one. And they were like, we really don't want to do that. And they were like, too bad. We got you under contract. So it's this last season where nobody wants to be there. They've wrapped up every ongoing storyline, and it's just weird.
Oh, I'm sure. I'm sure they're going to King Arthur's court by the end.
Yeah. The Edge is also on, which was a sketch comedy show that regular Julie Brown fronted, but Jennifer Aniston was on it. I love everyone involved with The Edge. That's where Tom Kenny met his wife, Rachel Talley, before they did Mr. Show. But what a bad show. And it was kind of hateful. Like, Almost every sketch was
okay.
like Fat Delta Burke. This particular episode sounds pretty bad. The impact of Paul Rubin's arrest on his career as Pee Wee Herman. The combined concert tour of music groups Anthrax and Public Enemy. Norman Lear and former CBS president Frank Stanton, who comment on the marketing of TV pilots. I just realized this is not The Edge. This is a different show called Edge.
Oh, okay. I was like, whoa, that is some heady
Yeah,
stuff.
no, this is a news magazine show. This actually does sound interesting. But it sounded like sketches they would do on The Edge.
Now, The Edge is the review I was referencing at the beginning when we were talking about sweeps, where they were just like, P-A-U.
It's not great. The best thing in it was that they had, what's his name, who did the pencil drawing animations who did Your Face?
Bill Plumpton.
Did all the interstitials in and out of the things.
That's cool.
I had Bill Plumpton on the show. I interviewed him. He was selling
Weird guy.
original art from all of his stuff. It was pretty cool. I should have bought something. But anyway. What are we doing after that?
For Thursday?
Yes.
All right. So now this is my day. I'm rubbing my hands together waiting for Thursdays when I'm 11 because it's going to be The Simpsons, Liquid Television, and Mystery.
Oh, okay. This went all kinds of places I wasn't expecting.
Three absolute bangers.
This is The Simpsons on Thursdays, so this was Fox's huge "we're taking Cosby on directly," which actually was a massive success. They didn't even come close to beating Cosby, but because they did that and also sort of counter-programmed Cosby, which was the number one sitcom at the time, they really, The Simpsons, that's when it sort of established its audience before they moved it to Sundays. So this is season 2 of The Simpsons. Then you did Liquid Television, which, speaking of Bill Plimpton, perfect for that. I love Liquid Television.
Yep.
That blew my mind. I used to go to the Spike and Mike's Festival of Sick and Twisted Animation every year. And just, there's no real I wouldn't even know what to tell people it was like. I mean, Liquid Television was a bit like YouTube, but curated.
Yeah. And I mean, YouTube is where all the best animators are hanging out now. Like, truly, if you want to see new innovative stuff, that's where people are posting it. And pre-streaming video, you had to look to see weird alternative animation. I mean, you really had to be a fiend.
You would get them like between as interstitials on like Nickelodeon or HBO sometimes. MTV, all of their MTV promo interstitials were usually created by like art college students and were really cool. And a lot of them did stuff on Liquid Television as well. What was your favorite Liquid Television reoccurring segment?
I love Dog Boy.
That is mine.
Charles Burns.
Live action Charles Burns.
Live action Charles Burns, but like working in his illustrations as overlays. People are in latex wigs. You have puppets. It still looks great.
It's a bit like Forbidden Zone vibes.
Yeah. I can see that. It's a little bit more controlled than Forbidden Zone.
Has anyone done a super edit of all the Dog Boy segments all together at once? Because it's probably all told, 10 minutes?
Yeah, there is. They're all in bad shape. I don't know why. There must be crazy rights issues surrounding Liquid Television because they did a VHS release. I think they did a DVD release, but what's on those releases, I'm only interested in like a quarter of them. Like all the stuff I was really into seems to be pretty tied up.
Yeah, I love stick figure theater.
Yep.
I love the postcards thing. What those were called. It would be all these vintage postcards, and it was voiceover, and it was a guy being like, "Dear Mum."
Yes. Oh, yeah. I remember that.
Yeah.
Those were good. And I loved Thomas and Nardo.
Yes.
The computer animation about the house. That's Mark Beyer, I think.
Yeah. It's a shame that a bunch of that stuff is lost. I also would be my parents didn't care what I watched, but the opening credits to Liquid Television, I would always have to mute. Because
with the lips?
Yeah, well, they know the theme song. For some reason, in the background, it had like a woman going, "Oh yeah," like it was like this weird, sexual noise. And it just kept doing it over and over again. Like if you're in the other room and it's all you heard, you're like, "What the hell are you watching?" Because it keeps going over and over again. Like, oh yeah. I'm just like, no, I had to mute it every time. Every time. Yeah.
And the Simpsons episode is a really good one. It's Lisa and the Pony, and it's the one Dan Castellaneta won the Emmy for, his first Emmy.
I noticed you didn't watch Drexel's Class.
I'm really sorry, Drexel's Class. I'm taking a week off.
That's why it got canceled.
Yeah,
that's why it got canceled.
Yeah.
Kevin McHale's on Cheers that night.
Can't beat it.
Kevin McHale, a man so white, even here in Boston, people used to call him Kevin McPale.
Wow. He never recovered.
Nope, he certainly didn't. And then what were you doing at 9?
Watching Mystery, and I'm not familiar with this movie called Devices and Desires, but I was, tuned in, saw if I liked it or not.
This was still hosted by Vincent Price, I
believe
think.
So.
With the Edward Gorey opening titles, which was the most disappointing show on television because you watch those opening titles. I think I'm going to get an animated thing about Edward Gorey, and then it's just some BBC murder mystery.
How tied up must the rights to Edward Gorey stuff be that we have not had an animated Edward Gorey movie at this point?
I feel like people just would think that it was a ripoff of Tim Burton.
That's never stopped anyone before.
No. You know what I just saw the other day is, so there's a famous stage production of Dracula, Broadway production, that Edward Gorey did all the sets.
Right.
And very much like Dogboy. They're black and white drawings in real size, but they put out a book of it, and it's a book where it's like a production book of all the set design, but also the book turns into the set. Mm-hmm. So it pops out and you have it's really cool.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
It's a really cool book. Friday night, final night of the week. What are we doing?
Friday night, I'm going to start off with MTV. I'm going to watch Kurt Loder, read off the news and Week in Rock. Then I'm going to watch...
Appointment television for me every week. Very important.
I was like... I rewatched some of them last night just to catch up on how good were these things really. It's a solid show. It's a solid little Rolling Stone style news journalism show.
And they would cover like pretty obscure acts, like the stuff that wasn't really even getting played on MTV. They would do nice little segments on.
You could tell it was the elder statesman of MTV being like, all right, enough of this crap. We're going to talk about stuff we like.
There's a thing on the Minutemen. Shut up.
Then the opposite of that is The Big Picture. But in 91, I took what I could get in terms of movie preview shows. But rewatching that now, it's really bad press junket interviews. And
it has the vibe of what late night talk show is now, like really contrived sort of unnatural promotional garbage.
Yeah, except they would be like a Soundgarden song played over a clip of
Cannonballs
Jennifer's
playing under a
body.
thing about Dick Tracy.
Right. Sorry, Jennifer 8.
Jennifer 8.
And then at 9, I was a little at sea, but Balky on Perfect Strangers is being visited by his mom, which is Balky in drag. And I'm not made of stone. I'll watch that.
Yeah.
And then when all else fails, I will tune into Dick at Night and watch Get Smart.
I'm intrigued by I imagine this is a pilot for a series that didn't go. And it's on CBS, and it's called Perfect Crimes. And it says, real crimes unraveled by small details are recreated. A doctor and her partner, played by Lisa Hartman and Bruce Greenwood, fake the doctor's murder for insurance money. A man, played by Dennis Farina, seeks to rid himself of his wife, his girlfriend, Christine Haji, and his blackmailer, hosted by Telly Savalas.
Incredible.
Like, what? Why? Oh, man. That's weird.
So somebody was just said, like, what if Unsolved Mysteries, but we got actors we can afford for recreations?
Yeah, not just nobody actors.
Yeah.
USA Network had a show called Beyond Reality with Sherry Belafonte, which was not a great show. But there's an ad in here for it, and it says, a reincarnated Nazi returns for some unfinished business. Beyond Reality. And then it says, powerful drama, true experiences. That's not a thing that happened, everybody. Sherry Belafonte never fought a reincarnated Nazi. I think we'd know about it.
Allegedly.
Ripped from the headlines. They hate the show Sibs in here, which is a sitcom. Jamie Gertz was in it. Dan Castanella was in it. And they call it Alex Rocco, who I love. They call it Sibs. They should have called it Sobs.
I know. They really...
really hated it.
Really blasted it.
All right, well, Zachariah, as you know, to wrap up here, TV Guide is not just informative. It has opinions and it cheers and it jeers. So I would like to read you the cheers and jeers of this week in November 1991 to see if you agree or disagree. This is unusually a cheer-heavy week. We have 3 cheers and only 1 jeer,
Yeah.
so I'll save the jeer for last. Cheers to the Arts and Entertainment Network for picking up off-network reruns of NBC's Late Night with David Letterman. Night owls and insomniacs are well aware that the sly, outrageous Letterman is the king of comedy. Late Night Division. Now, thanks to A&E, viewers who can't keep Dave's hours can see for themselves. The cable service has scheduled its Letterman shows at the more accessible hour of 7 p.m. Letterman's fans are sure to be rejoicing. Now they can also get a good night's sleep. This was amazing. I watched this every single day.
Yeah.
Later, they did it with Conan O'Brien, I think on Comedy Central, I want to say.
I watched it too. I will agree that it is a cheers, but this is also kind of a lame cheers in the fact that this sounds like such a press release.
Oh, 100%.
And I like a little more stink on my cheers and jeers.
Yeah, I like when they take advantage of the fact that it's anonymous.
Yes, yes.
Cheers to what, as near as we can figure, is the sports TV first. CBS Sports' executive producer Ted Shaker has 2 woman reporters, Leslie Visser and Andrea Joyce, on camera covering postseason baseball for the network. We can't remember the last time 2 women worked a major event, but there's no reason why it should not become a more common occurrence. Both Joyce and Visser were knowledgeable, and thoroughly professional. So this was basically like awesome 2 chicks, same time baseball.
Yeah.
Okay. Also very press release sounding.
They were knowledgeable and professional. They didn't talk about shoes.
Yep. They didn't come. None of them had a baby during the show.
Nope. They didn't grab each other's hair and try to pull each other off camera.
Nope. Cheers to NBC's LA Law, which returned for its 6th season October 10th and immediately reasserted itself as TV's best drama series, despite the massive changes the series has undergone since last season. Stars Harry Hamlin, Jimmy Smits, and Michelle Green all left, as did executive producer David Kelly, and the show never missed a beat, replacing the departed actors with fresh new faces, including Amanda Donohoe, while continuing to deliver the fine scripts that have made the series a perennial Emmy winner. 100% PR right there.
Yeah, I have no opinion on this. I'll say sure, cheers, but who cares?
They're like, it's even better without everyone you like. Some people are saying it's never been better. And finally, our jeers. To NBC's otherwise hip and humorous Seinfeld for a glaring lapse in its depiction of urban life in general and New York City life in particular. Ever notice on the show how star Jerry Seinfeld's friends regularly enter his Manhattan apartment through the unlocked front door? For a show that so accurately reflects urban dwellers' angst and stress, this one deal simply doesn't ring true. We hate to pick on a lock, but urbanites, and especially New Yorkers, know full well that nobody in the city leaves this front door unlocked. Where does Seinfeld think he's living? In Mayberry, RFD?
That cheer sucks.
It does. When I first started reading it, I was like, are they going to mention there's no black people? There's no black people on Seinfeld.
That would have been incredible. No. It's just, did you know that if you walk down this street...
And a little dig by not going Mayberry. They went Mayberry RFD. So they're not even like Mayberry. They're like the shitty Mayberry. My God. Yeah, that's bad. Well, that is the week. Thank you so much for doing this. This has been a cross-region BYOTVG where we managed to make it work with different editions of the same issue.
They said it couldn't be done.
If anyone should be cheered, it's us.
Yeah, that's true. We accomplished what Black or White could not.
No, we did.
Harmony.
Everything's all solved, and I didn't even have to get John Waters involved.
Or Landis.
John Landis.
I would
yeah.
have loved it if he had John Waters had tricked him into doing something.
Oh, John Waters directing a Michael Jackson video in 1991? That would have been the best thing ever. Man. All right, now I feel, now I need to move to that alternate reality. There you go. Made it through the whole episode. Didn't reference Z for Zachariah once. A favorite book of mine as a middle schooler, which is kind of messed up. I know they made a movie of it a few years ago, and I did not see it because I felt like it would be depressing, not because I didn't think it would, properly convey the book. What a bum out of a book, and a bum out of a society we live in. But we have fun here, so. So there's that. If you have people you'd like to recommend as guests for the show, please email me at ken@kenread.com or tvguidance@gmail.com. All the places, show description, all that stuff's there. If you leave a review, that would be helpful. And I'll be here next week. I hope you will too, for a brand new edition of TV Guidance Counselor.
You seem mentally broken enough to know this. What season of MacGyver was this?
It is the year 2025. A once proud world has been reduced to ruin and despair.